Okay, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, all the higher praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rekwa Kodash. Double honors to the elders, sing honors to the apostles of the great millstone and like-minded camps, affiliates, Shalom. All praises to Yahweh. Now I'm gonna get into this lesson here. We're just gonna go into some more of the news, what's going on. Went on this yesterday, kind of spoke on this, and they said that NATO agrees that this is Mark Rutte. He think he's the Secretary General. So he says that Russia could be ready to attack with NATO within the next 5 years. This was on last year, published last year. They speculate Russia may attack as early as 2030 or even earlier, as maybe in 2029. This video is entitled U.S. Marine Corps Convoy Crosses Border from Norway into Sweden.
So that truck with the tarp, yeah, that's going to go away, and then it'll be just... So you'll be right by it. Yes.
Joel 3:9-10. These nations are preparing for war. So this is just a reminder, and as well, once again, China still has thousands of boats massed at sea. At China, of Chinese boats massed at sea, raising questions. March 13th, 2026. This was Friday. Brought this out yesterday. Nations preparing for war once again. No, we can't forget about China and Russia, plus North Korea just recently shot 10 ballistic missiles near Japan, Taiwan. And this is from CBS or NBC News. Taiwan Parliament authorized the signing of stalled $9 billion U.S. arms deal. The back and forth on Taiwan defense spending has provoked concern in the United States. The Beijing claimed the island's most important international backer and arms supplier. That's a photo of them shooting rocket system. Live fire test launch at base in 2025. That's them. They just signed a deal to arm themselves with $9 billion worth of arms. You don't do that in a time of peace. And you don't do that if you ain't paranoid. You don't do that unless you're suspecting an attack by an enemy. Like Scarface said, and it's what you do when you got a kingdom and you gotta protect it. You arm the military. The back and forth on Taiwan's defense spending has provoked concern in the United States, as it is the most important international backer and arms supplier of the Chinese claimed island, despite a lack of former diplomatic ties. On down, he urged the government to submit a complete report on the weapons delivery schedule for Parliament to review after it signs the letters. The weapons covered include 2 TOW anti-tank missiles, M109A7 self-propelled howitzers, Lockheed Martin Mega Javelin missiles, and the HIMARS multiple launch rocket system worth around $9 billion in total, and part of an $11 billion package Washington announced in December. President Lai Ching-te's government has tried to get Parliament to pass $40 billion in extra defense spending, but the opposition, which controls the most seats, says the proposals are unclear and it cannot be expected to pass blank checks. And this is a video: China carries out military drills around Taiwan. China's military released a video of its forces carrying out military drills around Taiwan to test coordination and precision strike capabilities. The drills follow a rise in Chinese rhetoric of Beijing's territorial claims over the island, which Taiwan says brutally undermines regional stability. I'm gonna look this up. Oh man, I pray that nigga gets judged, man. Nigga next door keeps slamming his fucking door. This title of this one says, "What was China's most recently military moves near Taiwan?" As of mid-March 2026, China resumed intense military pressure around Taiwan. This was in the middle of this month. So this is probably still happening, still going on. China resumed intense military pressure around Taiwan, including 26 aircraft and 7 naval vessels in a single 24-hour period, after an unusual 10-day lull. This follows a major late 2025 escalation involving roughly 2,000 maritime militia fishing vessels, marking a shift toward hybrid gray zone tactics meant to exhaust Taiwanese forces. Resumed activity March 2026 after a puzzling 10-day pause. China restarted and then surged its daily aircraft incursions, with 16 entering Taiwan's northern, central, and southwestern air defense (IED) zone on Sunday, March 15, 2026. Late 2025 to 2026 year-end drills. China conducted its most extensive closest military drills in late 2025, using Navy, air, and ground forces to simulate blockades or assaults. Continuing this high-pressure, persistent activity into the new year. Con. Yeah, so the Lord's gonna judge this bitch, man. And these niggas out here, man. Slamming doors, closing doors and shit. They're fucking weird ass. They ugly ass bitch. Uglier than her fucking dog. How you look uglier than a fucking dog, bro? That shit is an embarrassment. But anyway, man, yeah, this Salaki Brothers, man, fucking Satan and this fucking po ass bitch ass nigga, man, next door, bro. He's closing his fucking door and shit. Can hear that shit from inside. But yeah, man, trying to stay in the spirit, man, and yeah, the brief lull of March 2026, because I really want to go out there and fucking round kick his fucking face off his head, bro. But the brief lull in March 2026 was the longest interruption in military activity since Taiwan began publishing data, causing analysts to speculate on the cause. Strategic lull. Okay, so you got the point. Basically, China just recently did some military drills, air drills, Navy and aircraft drills practices near that areas over there, Taiwan. This was on Sunday. This was actually today then. Yeah, this was today. This was just very recent right now. So, hey man, so it just shows you, bro, that the fact that they still doing drills near there. You even got along with the 2,000 fishing boats that was late last year, late December, early 2026.
We're all unreasonable about something.
Is a part of as justification. Sea of Japan, Indian Ocean, and Western Pacific Ocean. They have also built artificial islands for military bases far into is outside that scope, so the Taiwan invasion doesn't trigger Article 5 by itself. However, the U.S.
Yeah, I just missed it, but yeah, it's just reminded me too. Artificial islands, you can't forget about that. And so China's done already invested a lot of money into these mock-up drills, invasions, exercises exercises on rehearsing how they might take Taiwan. They didn't put a lot of money into those artificial islands as well, so yeah, that ain't for nothing. So this is just an update to remind you brothers, those who may not be in the know of the elect. Don't get your eye off of. Don't keep your eye off Taiwan and China right now, or Russia still, because Russia is still involved. They've been involved. It's stupid to say any other thing else. Mentioned that in the last video. This is Joel 3, 9-10. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. Prepare war. Wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords, and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say that I am strong. God. And as you see, this is what is going on. This is tensions in the Taiwan Strait are rising as China conducts increasingly aggressive military exercises around the island. Over the past several years, the People's Liberation Army has rehearsed blockades, amphibious assaults, and coordinated strikes designed to isolate Taiwan from outside support. These drills are not symbolic. Analysts widely interpret them as preparations for a real conflict scenario that could reshape the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific. At the center of these operations is the People's Liberation Army Navy, or PLAN, also called a PLAN, now the largest navy in the world by ship counts, with more than 370 vessels. I forgot about that too. China has the most ships. Modern destroyer ships, amphibious assault ships, submarines, and ships with missile forces gone. So they don't have all that for nothing as well. This is China's naval strategy focuses on surrounding Taiwan, sealing its ports, and preventing American or Allied intervention. Major exercises such as Justice Mission 2025 demonstrated simulated blockades, live-fire naval drills, and coordinated sea-air operations designed to encircle the islands. In this episode, we examine China's expanded naval power and strategy behind its war games, and how a conflict in the Taiwan Strait could unfold, from naval blockades to amphibious landings. The question is no longer, you see, this guy's an analyst, an expert. These are people who have been studying something for years, for up to 15 years, and have authority over the subject. So it don't matter what a Joe Schmo has to say about this guy's opinion here, or facts he's saying, because you're not studied, you don't have up to 15 years, 10 years of experience in this specific subject, so you really wouldn't have the authority. The question is no longer whether China is preparing for war. The question is how long and when it might happen. Yeah, the question ain't, as the saying goes, it's not if it happens, but when it happens.
Is outside that scope, so the Taiwan invasion doesn't trigger Article 5 by itself. However, the U.S.-Philippines Mutual Defense Treaty of 1951, Article 4 states that an armed attack would have a military response should that nation be attacked. Likewise, Japan's Article 5 of the U.S.-Japan Security Treaty of 1960 is quite clear. An armed attack against either party in the territories under the administration of Japan would mean military action. Article 6 of the treaty gives the U.S. use of facilities and areas in Japan for Japan's security and Far East stability, which is the backbone that makes U.S. operations possible. Key point for China-Taiwan: if a Taiwan conflict expands to strikes on Japan or Japan-administered territory, or creates a direct Japan territorial scenario, this treaty is the big one. China's naval buildup is no longer coming soon. It's here, and it's increasingly about power projection, blockade, and sea control, especially Taiwan scenarios, rather than just coastal defense. Chinese fleet size and trajectory are reported by the U.S. Navy CRS Reporting, citing Department of War intelligence studies that state China has a battle force of over 370 ships, with projections of up to 435 by 2030. That number doesn't include some smaller missile craft categories, such as the Type 022 NATO designation Hubei class Chinese catamaran missile boats. These smaller missile platforms are inexpensive and quick to produce, allowing China to field large numbers in support of amphibious operations in the Taiwan Strait. China only has 3 active naval aircraft carriers, the Liaoning, Shandong, and Fujian, with a modest complement of about 180 naval fixed-wing strike aircraft. The newest carrier, Fujian, was commissioned in November 2025 and uses electromagnetic catapults, which is a major technological improvement from ski jump ramps, enabling heavier aircraft and potentially higher sortie rates. Fujian's future air wing likely includes J-35 stealth fighters, KJ-600 carrier AEWs, J-15 variants including electronic warfare, aircraft, helicopters, and UAVs. DoD assesses that China claims to produce 6 carriers by 2035 for a total of 9 as it increases their blue water navy capable of projecting power and protecting its interest beyond its immediate coastal waters. Most analysts expect it'll take at least another year after commissioning to reach full operational capability because capable of projecting power and DoD assesses that China claims to produce 6 carriers by 2035 for a total of 9 as it increases. It'll take at least another year after commissioning to reach full operational capability because everything is new and still being integrated. China started sea trials of its first Type 076 Sichuan amphibious assault ship in late 2025, designed to launch aircraft and landing craft and features an EM catapult system similar to Fujian's. China commissioned the first Type 054B frigate, bigger than the 054A, with more firepower, able to operate larger helicopters like the Z-20. These join destroyers as a protective screen for a carrier group and anti-submarine operations. China wants to dominate the South China Sea, a 1.4 million square mile expanse, which is not just a geopolitical flashpoint, but an economic lifeline, channeling over $3 trillion in annual trade through choke points like the Malacca Strait. Remember, every war or conflict has an economic cause. So how does China plan to secure and control these waters? China has launched 10 submarines between 2021 to 2025, outpacing U.S. launches over the same window, a combination of diesel, electric, and nuclear. China's shipbuilding dominance and capacity to produce large numbers of submarines, surface combatants, auxiliaries, and amphibious ships, including new expanded yards, comes at a high cost. Experts agree that China's submarine and surface fleet has outpaced the U.S. and the rest of the world, but they also agree that the numbers do not support their ambitions. First, despite their constant industrial espionage and theft of technology, their ships are not capable of managing a major conflict. American submarines are almost impossible to detect, while Chinese subs are noisy by comparison. In addition, China having a large naval fleet does not mean that they are tactically, technically, or even economically capable of using that force effectively against a coalition military power. China's air assets in total number around 3,309, about 1,583 combat aircraft, plus transports, tankers.
Okay, that's the point on that. Yes, I'm just doing this video just to emphasize, just keep your mind on China, Taiwan. Keep your mind on China and Taiwan. Russia, what Russia's doing, they already went into it a bit yesterday. Russia's most recent global military moves focuses on accelerating drone production, increasing army size to 1.5 million men, and transitioning to a long-term war of attrition in Ukraine. Key strategies include utilizing satellite-guided glide bombs, expanding domestic drone manufacturing, similar to Shahed types, and providing military intelligence and surveillance technologies to allies like Iran and combat Western influence. Russia is restructuring for a larger army. Yeah, why would they be doing that? Restructuring for a larger army. Once again, Jake, you simple as stupid 2/3. Why would they be doing that? Because Joel 3 and 9 to 10, the Lord's preparing them for war. Ezekiel 38, Gog and Magog. These prophecies are going to come to pass. Third war is going to happen quickly. You're seeing the beginning of it, but it hasn't happened yet. You can also say it hasn't really happened yet, but it's definitely the beginning stages of it. The building blocks are starting to come together. So then it becomes an official third war. And me personally, I believe China's gonna get involved. They are already involved. Russia's already fucking involved, bro. Forget about what that stupid dumb black bitch said. You're a woman and you should shut your fucking mouth for once, finally. But yeah. And higher arms production, 500 plus tanks, 600 plus missiles annually. They have pivoted from rapid mechanized warfare to a war of attrition, accepting high casualties for incremental territorial gains. Oh, and they're also, it says right there, they're increasing gun production, weapon production, 500 plus tanks, 600 plus missiles a year. It's their goal. Russia has drastically increased drone usage, surpassing 29,000 in 2025 to overwhelm air defenses. These are now often locally produced rather than solely imported from Iran. Oh, that's a lot of drones. They done made 29,000 drones the past year. They wouldn't be doing that if if Russia ain't planning to continue this war, is staying on in this war. All right, so yeah. Yeah. See this one here. So really, that's the point on that. Just keep your eye on Russia. Don't forget about Russia, man. Don't sleep on Russia. Everyone's speaking on this Iran and Israel thing. I get it, but just wanted to re-emphasize and make Russia and China trend again, basically. So soon they're gonna be back on the highlight reels. So yeah, because I'll get some scriptures here. Second Ezra 16. 34 in the wars. You notice it says plural world wars in the wars, because there's going to be 3 major battles that's going to start World War III. Officially, this is what I personally believe. I mean, I don't know how. This is just me speaking as a man speculating. They said by 2020. I remember last year I saw this article speaking about how the Pentagon has been analyzed in China and how it's moving, and they say that they speculate by 2028 they're going to be ready to go full on for an invasion against Taiwan by 2028. And we pray that it comes sooner, because we want the kingdom. But if we don't get, but if we just gotta be, but if we make it this full year, if America makes it this full year, more than likely they'll start that invasion. They're gonna, it's gonna lengthen that invasion the time, the longer time it takes for them to do that. The longer we're gonna be here, but Lord's will, man, the spirit of Yahweh Messiah, the Lord puts it in the king's heart to fulfill his will, because the heart of the king is in the hand of Yahweh Messiah. He moveth it wherever he will. He directs the time and the courses of things. He already has the exact time and exact date. Whatever they do and however it goes is 2 Ezra 16. Anyway, in verse 34, in the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, yeah, you women destroyed, especially you single black woman out here destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine, bro, yeah. Russia's involved, they've been involved. This bitch talking about, I don't see Russia getting involved. Russia's already fucking involved, bro. Russia's already involved, bro. Little girl. So yeah, man, that's just the point on this. Locky Brothers is just a stupid comment this bitch made. But yeah, Shalom, and hopefully this is edifying, and blah blah blah.